What is our last class where we are?
I will check only.
ST code we discussed in the last.
Yeah, we were at ST02. Yeah.
Just about ST02 or not?
Yeah, we discussed.
We completed this ST02.
Yes.
In ST02, what we need to observe? The hit ratio and the swaps, right? And every buffer, these are the different types of buffers. Every buffers will have some parameter names. These are the parameter names. Parameter. Okay. If you click on current parameter, then it will show you the current buffer related parameter name and the value. If I want to maintain, if I want to modify this parameter name, parameter value, then what I need to do? I need to go to the RZ10. In instance profile, I need to do the changes, and after that I need to take a restart of my system. Then only this changed parameter value will be affected to my instance. Correct?
Okay.
ST22 ABAP dumps. What is mean by ABAP dumps?
Program errors. Other program errors.
ABAP program errors, not only program errors like any memory related issues, okay, program related issues, coding related issues, so all type of issues, okay. Which program, whenever the program has been terminated due to any other issue, so then what will happen? One error will be thrown, right? It will throw you one error. So that error in SAP technology, we call it as a ABAP dump. So daily health check activities, we need to check how many ABAP dumps are occurred in yesterday. Why? Because we are checking this daily health check activities for last 24 hours. Correct?
Yeah.
So how many different types of dumps are there? And one more point, one user is there, one user is executing a report. Okay, that report is terminating due to some ABAP dump. Due to some errors, the report is terminating. Okay, again the user has been re-executed. Again the user has been re-executed the same program, same report. Okay, and the same ABAP dump, it has been terminated again. So what will happen? So one user, how many times the report has been executed, how many times the ABAP dump has been thrown. So that many times it will give you the count here. That many times it will show you this dump list here. Means in the same user, we can see the repeated ABAP dumps. Are you getting my point?
Same error will be repeated.
Same ABAP dump we can see repeatedly in ST22 with the same user. If I have a user 1, I have executed a report, I got timeout dump, timeout ABAP dump, okay? And again, I executed the same report, again I have got timeout dump, again I have executed, again I got timeout dump. So, like this I have executed the report 5 times. By username is user 1. So 5 times the ABAP dump will be shown here in ST22. Same username, same client and same ABAP dump. It will show you 5 times. What is mean by 5 times? Why it is showing you 5 times? the user is re-executing a same report again and again. So that's why it is throwing the same ABAP dump. Got my point?
Yeah, how we will come to know it is the same error?
So it will show you the repeated entries, same username.
Yeah,
Again, I can see the same entry again. I can
yes,
see one
yeah,
more entry. So like that, if I have seen 5 times or 10 times, the entries are there. Same user, same client, same ABAP dump.
yeah,
But the timelines are different, right? But timelines are different. Okay.
okay,
So what it means that user re-executing the same report. So that's why I'm able to see 10 times same ABAP dump. I'm able to see the 10 times. Got it?
okay.
So in SAP ABAP dumps, what type of ABAP dumps are there? So we need to take a list of ABAP dumps on yesterday only. Why? Because this is, we are executing a daily health check activities for last 24 hours. Apart from that, if you want to see the dates, day before yesterday or 2 days back, 3 days back, 10 days back, then you can give the from date, and if you want to see only user specific related, you can give the user specific and you can execute here. Then you can see the user specific if there is any ABAP dumps are there. We'll see some of the standard regular ABAP dumps. One of the regular ABAP dump is timeout. What is mean by timeout? It's take more than sorry? Yeah. Timeout is one of the ABAP dump. What is mean by timeout ABAP dump?
It is taking longer
Not
time to execute
responding within the time.
than the time what is required.
Sorry, come again.
It is taking longer time to execute than what the time is required.
Not clear.
Okay.
Whenever my work process, whenever my user request is executing, ultimately my user request will be executed by work process only, correct?
Yeah.
So whenever this work process time has been exceeded, means every work process will have a time limit, right?
Yes.
When the time limit has been exceeded, then the report will be terminated. The report will be terminated with the ABAP dump error. What is the ABAP dump error? Time underscore out. This is the ABAP dump error. Okay. So which work process will have a time limit?
Yeah. Dialog work process.
My dialog work process will have a time limit. Why? Because my background work process don't have any time limit. Why?
Because it will run long running jobs for longer time.
Will not have any time limit because these are executed in a background mode, right?
Yeah.
This will have a time limit because this will execute it in a front-end mode, right?
Yes.
So my dialog work process only have a time limit. By default, it is a 600 seconds. If you want, we can increase and decrease using RZ10 default in instance profile, right? Work process max runtime is a parameter. Based on that, you can check in instance profile and you can maintain, you can increase the size. You can increase the size. Okay. If you are given a 0 instead of 600, if you are given a 0 value, then what is the meaning of 0 value?
Yeah, then there is no time limit.
It is a unlimited time. We are providing a dialog work processors unlimited time, right?
Yeah, in real time it will be specified or it will be 0.
The 0 will be specified only for specific situations, scenarios only, not a regular. If there is any user is compliant or user is required, it's a very critical report and they should not terminate any cost, then at that time we can give a 0 value. Once the report has been completed, again we need to revert back to the old value.
No, in this case we can't ask user to schedule
Sorry?
background jobs.
Sorry?
Yeah, in this case we can't ask user to schedule background job.
We can't ask means that is, we can ask if it is possible, schedule it in a background mode.
Okay, if
We
it is
can
possible
ask.
to schedule in background mode, then we can ask.
If it is a possibility is there, then we can ask and the user can schedule the report in the background mode if it is a possible. If not possible, then we cannot do anything. We need to execute the report in a front-end mode. Then at that particular time, we can maintain the 0 value. Once the user report has completed, then again we need to revert back it. This is the instance specific wise, and this is not a particular dialog work process. Whenever you have changed this parameter in for one instance profile, then it will affect into
Yeah.
that instance profile how many dialog work processes are there. It will affect to all the dialog work processes of my particular instance. Why? Because I am changing this parameter in an instance profile, correct?
Yeah.
And this is the dynamic parameter, no need to take any restart of my SAP system. Okay.
Okay, for time limit we no need to restart.
Yes, this is a dynamic profile parameter, no need to take any restart.
Okay.
In RZ10, sorry, in RZ11, whenever you're changing this, okay, in RZ11, whenever you're changing, so those are the dynamic parameters.
Yeah.
Next, spool request. What is
For
meant by
this
spool
dynamic
request? What?
parameters,
Sorry?
yeah, for these dynamic parameters, do we have any list?
No, there is no list. There are a lot
Because to
of
find,
parameters in a system.
okay,
There are a
okay.
lot of, huh?
Yeah, yeah, there are a lot of dynamic parameters.
There are a lot of static and dynamic parameters are there. Whenever you, based on your requirement, whenever you are going to change the parameters, you can see in RZ11. If you are able to change in RZ11, then it's a dynamic parameter. Whenever you are changing RZ10, then it will give you a pop-up message. You need to take a restart of the system. Then only it will affect. Then those are the static parameters.
Yeah.
You need to take a restart.
Okay.
Then spool request. What is the use of spool work process?
It's for printing purpose. Printing reports.
Whenever I have given a printout option in SAP level, whenever I have given a printout option in SAP level, then what will happen? Spool request will be generated. Spool request will be generated at application level. Spool request means it's a random number. Random number will be generated in a spool request. For every printout, the spool request will be generated in SAP level. In SAP level, for every print request, spool request number will be generated. Okay, and the numbers will be like this. Spool number. See here. These are the spool numbers. Means these are the random numbers will be generated one by one. Okay, and to see the spool request in my system, what is the transaction code? SP01. SP01. In SP01, you can view created by star and client star and from date from yesterday onwards. Okay, and execute here. Once executed, it will show you the list of spool requests was generated from since yesterday onwards to till date. It will give you the spool request numbers and with the status information. Okay. In this status information, if there is any spool request has been cancelled due to any other error, then you can see the status here, error in the red lines. If you double click on particular error, then it will give you one more pop-up window. In that pop-up window, it will show you the error message, why the spool request has been cancelled. There are different types of analysis, there are different types of reasons are there, okay, to cancel the spool request. One is the printer has been not configured in the system level. In SAP system level, printer might be not configured, and as configured printer is not assigned to the user. Okay, and printer model was not configured correctly, means user has assigned one printer model. Okay, and but end user side there is another different printer model has been configured. Okay, and spool request was not generated. So these are the different methods, are the different, not method, different errors, scenarios of cancelling my spool request, means cancelling my printout request. So what is the use of a spool request? Whenever you have given a print option in SAP level, spool request will be generated based on the user ID. Based on the user ID, based on the date and time, the spool request will be generated. Okay, and once the spool request has been generated, this spool request will be handled by my spool work process. Then what will happen? This spool work process, it will give you a signal to your local laptop or local desktop operating system level spool service. In your local laptop or local desktop, you have a printer has been configured, right? If you have configured the printer to your local laptop or desktop, then only you can take the printouts. Otherwise, you cannot take any printouts, correct?
Yes.
So this spool service, spool work process will be send a signal to the OS level spool service. OS level means what? Your local spool service. Okay. And based on that, the local spool service, whenever it got the signal from the spool service, then it will send a signal, it will send it to where the printer has been configured, where my printer has been configured. Then the request will send to the printer, and the printer will take the printouts. And whenever spool request has been generated, the spool request means what? It's a printout, right? So I can able to see the printout view, means print preview I can able to see. If you see this type, your type is the right.
Yeah.
If you double click on the type, then it will open a print preview, means you can see the text information of my print document text information I can able to, but that is understandable by my SAP only. The spool request, the spool work process, what it will do, it will generate the printers, it will generate the spool request, it will generate the print preview format, and that format will be understand only my SAP only. Okay, and how I can take a printout? Through my OS tool service, right? But at operating system, the report will be understood in a different language, different method. So the print type, print preview in spool request at SAP level, this can be understand my SAP only. So spool request, what it will do, it will convert into the OS understandable format. It will convert into the OS understandable format, and it will send the signal to the OS spool service. Then OS spool service, what it will do, whenever the print format has been converted into the OS understandable format, then that format, the OS spool service will send a request to the printer. Then printer can understand that OS printable format. My operating system can understand, and my printer also can understand that format. Then only my printer can take that output into the print format. Got it? So in that spool request, how many spool requests are generated? Okay, since yesterday onwards, in that any errors are there. What are the errors? If you double click on the error, you can see the error information. So that is about the spool request. Okay. So whenever the spool requests are generated or day by day, because one print based on one user ID, one spool request has been generated, and here you see number of pages means what? Number of pages 1, 2, 5, 17 means what? Means number of printout pages are there, right? This is the output, print preview pages. How many pages are there? 17 pages are there. So these 17 pages output, the format will be converted into the OS understandable format. That format only my printer can understand, and it can take a printout. 17 papers printout, we can take it. Okay. And whenever these pull requests are generated, whenever these pages like 1, 2, 5, 17, and there are more number of pages also will be there. Hundreds of pages also will be there, and thousands of pages also will be there. So then what will happen? Ultimately, whenever these pull requests are generating, and these information will be stored in a particular table, database level, one particular table, it will store information. The spool request, all the pages information, the spool request information, it will store in a particular table. That is called TempC table. The table name is TempC table. If this table has been full, then what will happen? My TempC table is full, then there is no spool request will be generated. Pull request overflow. You will get it when SAP ABAP dump pull request overflow. Means your TempC table has been full. Okay, then what you need to do, go to SP01 and here in menu, you can see the TEMC consistency check. Okay, you can do the TEMC consistency check and or go to SP01, give star created by and date you can see the 1 month back or 2 months back. Okay, and client you can give a star and how many spool requests are completed and biggest pages like hundreds or thousand biggest pages are there. Completed spool request 1 month back, 2 months back, 3 months back. Just those we can select biggest pages. Okay, those select and we can delete here and we can delete here. This is the temporary, this is the immediate solution. Okay, this is my immediate solution. So we can delete the 2 months back, 3 months back, the completed pull request, completed pull request with the highest pages we can delete. This is the emergency solution. And whenever you have maintained, you have running standard job, reorg school, one standard job is there. We have some standard jobs, correct? In SM36, we can schedule a standard jobs, correct? That is one of the 4 steps. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Scheduling a standard jobs, that is one of the 4 steps. So in that standard job, we have a reorg school. So in that reorg school, what it will happen? The 3 months back old data, 4 months back old data, it will be deleted, completed, all the school requests will be deleted. Then my TEMC database will not full. Got it?
Okay.
So next,
How many
cancel.
requests it will handle TMC table approximately?
Sorry?
How many spool requests it can handle TMC table?
Actually, there is no limit like that.
Okay.
So based on the pages.
Yeah.
Next, background jobs. How many background jobs has been cancelled since yesterday onwards? So go to SM37, job name star, username star and select only cancel and from date is yesterday date. Okay, then execute here. Then we can see the list of cancelled jobs. I need only cancelled jobs. I don't need any finished jobs. Okay, how many cancelled jobs are there since yesterday onwards? And whenever we have a cancelled job, then it will give you the list of cancelled jobs in one screen. And select the job and click on job log. On the same screen, we have a job log button. So whenever you click on job log, then what will happen? Why the background job has been cancelled? It will give you the log information. Okay, and we need to check what are the background jobs has been cancelled. Is that any business related background jobs or is that any standard related background jobs? Standard background jobs. And what is the error? So based on that, we need to intimate to the particular user who has been scheduled that business process, business job, who has scheduled that business job. We need to intimate to the user and with the error, proper error message, and we need to try to solve the error. Okay, and one more point, whenever we are doing this daily health check activities, we are seeing the lock and update failures, ABAP terms, cancel jobs and all the things, right? So whenever you are seeing these errors in a daily health check activities, okay, don't try to resolve whenever you are creating a daily health check activities report. First of all, what we need to do, we need to complete the report. Daily health check activities, we need to complete the report, and this report we need to send it to the client. Once the report has been sent to the client, after that we can take one transaction code SC22 or SM13 or SM37. You can take one T code. In that, how many errors are there? You can take one error, one by one error, and we can resolve the errors one by one. When? After preparing our daily health check activities report. Got it? So this is the cancelled background jobs information, SM37. Okay, DB02. DB02 is used for my database performance purpose and means I can see the database related history information. This is by DB02. Here, the total size of my database and total free size of my database. Okay, and current sizes. If you click on current sizes, we discussed in a Oracle database architecture, physically my database files will be stored in a data files only. My data will be stored physically in data files level. Those data files will be stored in the disk level, right? And logically, my database tables will be stored in a table space. We have seen some different types of table spaces, right? PSAP SR3, PSAP temp, PSAP SR3, DB. So these are the different types of table spaces. Each and every table spaces we have a number of tables are there. Okay. And if you click on current sizes, then we can see the list of table spaces and corresponding sizes information. Corresponding sizes information. So this is my table space name, and this is my total size of table space, and this is a free space, and how much percentage it has been utilized. Okay, and in production environment, in real-time scenario, in production environment, the table spaces user size will be set one threshold value. Okay, if it is more than 90%. Okay, I told you, right, we will maintain the color mechanism in the daily health check activities report, correct?
Yeah.
So we have a green, yellow and red, correct? So if it is more than 90% utilization, then it should be a red color. If it is 80 to 90%, then it should be a yellow color. If it is less than 80, then it should be a green color. Okay? Why? Because if it is more than 90%, if it is more than 90% of my table space utilization, for example 91%, 92%, then what will happen? I need to maintain this with red color in my report, daily health check activities. Once the report has been sent, then I need to extend this table space, correct?
Yeah.
I need to extend this table space and I need to bring them below 90%. Below 90% I need to bring them. Okay, and if you forgot, like if you leave it like okay, it is 91% only, then we will see next day. Okay, next day it is 92%. Okay, 92% only, we will see next day. And next day it has been 93, 94, 95, 96, 97. Okay, it is 97% only. Oh, we'll see next day, is no problem. We have 3% is there. Then what will happen? If any background job has been executed, if there is any huge data has been updated, then table space will be full. It will become a full, right? So if it is 100% occupied, means the utilization is 100%, means the table space is full. Then what will happen? The table space is full, then data will not updated in that particular tables, in that particular table space. Then what will happen? Your SAP will hang. Correct?
Yeah.
So if you not increase the table space, then what will happen? SAP will hang. Then ultimately client will ask you from still 1 week onwards in a daily health check activities, we are seeing this PSAP SR3 table space utilization is more than 90%, like 96, 97, 98, 99. Today it got full. You are maintaining this information in daily health check activities, but why you are not taking a proper action? The client will ask you.
How we will where exactly we will check the size of table, whether it is increase, whether it has came 90% or not.
Here it is, right? Utilization. If it is a 99% utilization, if it is 100% utilization means what? Table space is full, 100%.
It will
Used.
show any red color.
It
No,
will
no.
not show here any red color. Here it will
Okay.
not show any red color. If it is 100%, if it is 99%, 98%, 90%, in real time scenario, if it is a more than 94%, then we need to take a proper action immediately, not later on.
How to increase?
Using a BR tools, we can increase the table space sizes at
Okay.
operating system, and this is the online activity. No need to take any system downtime. You no need to take anything. Okay, it will not affect to the any system performance. System will up and running, and parallelly we can increase the table space. This is the online activity only.
The changes will affect dynamically.
Sorry?
The changes will affect dynamically.
Yeah,
Okay.
we are adding a space. That's it. We are not doing anything. We are adding a space to that particular table space. Means what? In table space, see, tables will be stored in a table space, right? In table space, what it contains, all the data files only it contains.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
You see here, one table space is there, PSAP SR3. This table space contains 10 data files. Ultimately, where my data files will be stored in a disk level, right? At OS level, correct?
Yeah.
So I have a SAP data 1, SAP data 2, SAP data 3, SAP data 4, right? So, for example, all these having a 500 GB free space I'm created, right, at the time of installation. Before starting installation, these are be created by my operating system guys with the 500 GB free space. Okay, SAP data 1. Now, for example, these 10 data files are there, right? So these 10 data files are stored in SAP data 1. In these 10 data files are stored in SAP data 1. Now SAP data 1 become full. Sorry. Now my table space is full. PSAP SR3 is full. Okay. Where I can see this in DB02, here I can see correct sizes. Here I can see used 100%. Means PSAP SR3 is full. Then what will happen? I can add data file. This is 11th data file, right?
Yeah.
Already 10 data files are there. I have added one more data file with, for example, 50 GB space. This data file also have stored in a SAP data 1 only. Okay. Got my point?
Yeah. How we will come to know 10 data files are there for one table?
In BR tools, whenever you are adding if it is 10 data files are there, whenever you are adding a new data file, then it will take a data file 11 it will take.
Okay. Okay.
So based on that we can see, and also in DB02 we can see how many data files are there. Okay, if you double click on that particular table space, it will show you the list of data files in that particular
Yeah.
table space. PSF SR3, I have added one more data file and with 50 GB, then what will happen? The PSF SR3 will be added 50 GB extra space, right? For example, whenever you are adding this data file, where I am storing this physically in SAP Data 1, right?
Yeah.
Using BR tools, I am adding data file 11 with 50 GB. But physically where it is storing? Physically it is storing in SAP Data 1 only, correct?
Yeah.
So in that scenario, for example, my SAP Data 1 is full, then what will happen? Means 500 GB, this space is not there, it got full, 500 GB is full. So I cannot add new data file into SAP Data 1, correct? I cannot add a new data file. Why? Because in physical level, disk level, there is no free space in SAP Data 1. 500 GB is full. So at that scenario, what I can do, I can add this data file in any one of this SAP Data 2, SAP Data 3 or SAP Data 4. I can add in any one location. If we have a free disk space is there, then we can add it in any one of the locations. Why? Because the collection of the combination of SAP Data 1, Data 2, Data 3, Data 4 is my entire database system, one database system. Got my point?
Yeah. Is SAP data on file size cannot be increased?
If you want my SAP, my operating system, guys can extend it this size, physical size. We can ask them and we can tell them increase, add 500 more, 500 GB free space, extended 500 more GB free space. Then what, how much data, how much the total size? 1000 GB total size, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So we can extend it. There are different types of possibilities, different types of solutions. We can extend it by my operating system, or I can add a new data file in separated data 2, data 2, data 3 or data 4. Got it?
Yeah.
In DB02, we can see any missing indexes are there or not. Missing indexes. If there is any mixing indexes, then it will show you the in red color here.
Yeah.
Red color, it will show you the missing indexes. Missing indexes means what? Means there is no indexes has been configured in particular table. Then we can intimate to the ABAP developers.
Yeah.
They will do
How we can find the table name here?
sorry, it will
How
show you
will
the index names and table names. If it is missing here, it will show you in a red color.
okay.
It will show you the missing indexes. Okay.
Yeah. Table name also will get displayed.
Yeah.
Okay.
DB12, database backups logs, DB12, and you can see the overview or last successful backup. Means what are the backups has been scheduled, okay, for my database, for my system database backups, what are the backups are scheduled. Those backups list information I can see here using a overview of database backups. If I click here, then I can see the list of last backups completed information. And if I click the first option, last successful backup means what? It will show you the one entry, means whenever the last successful backup is there, yesterday or day before yesterday, 1 week back, I will see only one entry information. Here I can see whether my last backup has been completed or not. If it is not completed, then it will give you the error, means not completed. Then you can click here, you can see the detailed information. In the screen we have a detailed log button. Okay, if you click on detailed log, then it will open detailed log information of my backup related. So in that you can see the red color lines. So what is the red color lines? It will give you the error information. Why my backup has been cancelled? Why my backup has been cancelled? For example, I have scheduled online backup every day night 11 o'clock. Okay, so next day morning I can see in DB12, okay, last successful backup means yesterday night I have scheduled, yesterday night 11 o'clock I have scheduled the backup. Okay, and the backup it is taking around 5 to 6 hours every day. So it should be completed early morning 5 o'clock, right? 5 to 6 it should be complete. So morning whenever I came to office, I can check the DB12, I can check the last successful backup, means yesterday night backup. If it is completed, okay. If it is not completed, then we can see the error, why my backup has been cancelled.
How to configure that backup setup?
This
Who will
backup
do this?
setups we are doing.
Okay, how to configure that backup setup?
If you have a
Which
backup,
file which table we need to take backup?
if you have a backup team separately in your project, then they will do the backups. They will take care about the backups. Okay. If there is no backup team, then we need to schedule the backups, online backups or offline backups, how we need to do. Offline backups or online backups, these backups we can schedule in a DB13 planning calendar. There are so many methods are there to schedule the backups. For example, if there is any third party tools using my client, for example TSM is one third party tool. Tivoli, TSM, have you heard about these words? TSM, Tivoli.
Yes, it's IBM backup tool.
So that backup tools can be configured to my SAP systems. Who will configure? My OS administrators will configure. My backup team will configure. Okay. So some third party tools also, they can take the backups. Okay. And or otherwise, if there is no any third party tools, using DB13 planning calendar as a basis consultant also I can take a backups. How I can take? In DB13 you can schedule the jobs. In DB13 is a planning calendar, correct? So there you have some jobs are there. Online backups, offline backups, run DB logs, run DB check, run database statistics. So these are the different jobs are defined in my planning calendar. Select the job and schedule it whenever you required. Then what will happen in the back end? You need to at operating system level we have a init.sid.sap file is there, right? Init.sid.sap is one of the profile parameter at database level. Okay, in that init.sid.sap you need to maintain, you need to mention where my backup has been stored, correct? Disk level or tape level. So I need to maintain in the profile parameter where is my backup storage location? If it is a disk, I need to mention the path. If it is a tape, I need to mention the location, right? And online backup, offline backup, compression mode, yes or no. So these profile parameters we need to maintain in my operating system level profile parameter, BR tools related profile parameter, database related profile parameter, init.sad.sap. Once this has been changed in init.sad.sap, then we can schedule it in a DB13 planning calendar. Okay, based on that profile parameter, what are the information you have given, which location you have given, then this backup will be stored in that particular location. Did you got my point?
Yes.
So offline backups also we can schedule. Okay, in a real-time scenario for production systems, online backup will be run on daily basis. Online backups will run on a daily basis, and offline backups will be run on a weekends. Okay, in a real-time scenario. So maximum all the online and offline backups will be stored in a tape location only for production systems. Why? Because my production data is a huge data, right? 500 GB, 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte. So if I stored in a disk level, if I stored a backup my disk level, I need that much of space required in a disk level, correct? So for safer side, in production systems, they will take a backups in a tape location. Okay. So these are the main transactions we have in daily health check activities. Okay.
This database backup related we will see practically in the further session.
Yeah, I will show you in the BR tools.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
And Ramu, one more thing. If we do kernel upgrade, okay, that version is capable to my current software, I mean application versions or not, to how to check that thing? My current components are suitable for new kernel version or not, how to find out?
Your current component versions should support your new kernel version or not.
Yeah, I mean now we are using 721, we are planning to upgrade 740. So my current portal and SRM will support or not, how to know that thing? Is for 741 version.
For component, what is the component version?
Kernel version is 742, 740 plus something.
740, assume 740, okay. Component version?
Now we are at SRM 7, Portal
Okay.
7.
Portal 7, right. So, go to PIM, product availability matrix, okay. There you select the CRM 7.0 in product available matrix. There you can select the operating system and select the database, and you can see the supported kernel versions in the product availability matrix.
Okay.
In product availability matrix, first you need to select the product, database, operating system. Once we selected these information, then based on that, what are the supported kernel files, kernel versions are there, we can see in a PIM. Tell me.
In service marketplace?
Yes, in service marketplace, PIM, product availability matrix.
Okay, okay.
There we can see the supported kernel versions. Okay.
Sir, can we see kernel upgrade in Linux also? Linux OS? How to do kernel upgrade?
I need to check whether we have a kernel file kernel software is there or not. If it is there, then I will show you.
Yeah.
The same procedure only, but yeah, we'll discuss in next class. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then we'll meet tomorrow.
Yeah. Can you please share that video, sir?
Yeah, today they will share it. Okay, and yesterday I forgot it, so today they will
Yeah.
share it. Okay.
In that video only TMS process is also there. How
No, no.
to
In Saturday's class, in installation, Saturday class we have a TMS.
yeah.
Okay. In Monday class we discussed about the S note. You are not there and Hari is not there. Only Bala is there. We discuss about the S note, how to apply S note, and what is the procedure. That's it. We discussed only S note.
Yeah, but in TMS how to save the transport request and how to import that process K number.
That we discussed in that session actually.
Okay.
Go to the session. If you have any doubts, then let me know. Okay.